If this association isn't strong, then in a few weeks' time, the future of European football is going to be pretty dark. This was the remark of Javier Tebas in the recent gathering hosted by the Union of European Clubs. Now, I don't know about you, but when someone like Tebas says something like that, it's time to sit up and pay attention. So, what's all the fuss about? And why is the future of European football hanging in the balance? That's the burning question we're diving into in today's video. But before we begin, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Lately, the top flight teams are like heavyweight champions, and they're solidifying their positions with an iron grip. The outcome? We're cruising towards a clear division between major and minor leagues. This gap is getting wider than the Grand Canyon, and all thanks to deep-pocketed institutional investors who are pouring cash into the already big-name football clubs, making inequality the name of the game. Whilst addressing the Union of European Clubs on the lack of representation for non-elite sides, Tebas laments that football has ignored existential challenges. In his words, "We need to face up to them or there's going to be no way out." Now, if you ask me, I'd love to see a different plot twist in this tale. But let's keep it real. Those mega clubs are on a collision course with their very own major league tournaments. The distance between them and the rest of the pack is stretching farther than a marathon, and those matches between the giants and the underdogs, well, let's just say they won't be must-see TV. It's a shift, no doubt about it, but when you break it down, it's like reading the roadmap of the future. We're headed towards a reality where football's elite will have their own exclusive playgrounds. It might not be the ideal script, but it is the path we're treading. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: Super Leagues. The failed European Super League, remember that drama, showed that fans have a powerful voice. As it stands, the future of European football seems inclined towards preserving the competitive balance of domestic leagues. To keep the ball rolling, the company that tried to start the European Super League is now talking about a new European Football League. They have 10 main ideas for it. This is coming after the Super League idea got so much criticism in 2021 from fans, players and soccer organisations. One of their main ideas is to have fair competition. They want to have 60 to 80 teams in 3 different groups, and teams would have to earn their spot every year. But this idea is similar to what we already have with the Champions League and Europa League by UEFA, so it might not be as groundbreaking as they or people think. However, in hindsight, the Super League might not be a headache. It could be the antidote. When the big guns of football lock horns among themselves, it's like cooking up a recipe for pure entertainment that appeals to fans across the globe. And let's not forget, it brings in a boatload of cash. It could breathe new life into the less celebrated leagues. Take Bayern Munich for example. If they took a hiatus from the Bundesliga, suddenly you have 8 to 10 teams all vying for that coveted championship. It's like injecting a surge of excitement into the entire nation, and who could argue against that being a positive twist? So perhaps major leagues aren't the villains here, they could be the heroes. The gap in European football is widening, and it's not about to narrow down anytime soon. The main culprit? It's not the money from domestic TV deals, it's the influx of cash from the European side of things. Teams that get a taste of European competition are swimming in a pool of prize money that keeps getting deeper. And hold on to your hats, because the experts say we're in for a 40 to 50% cash boost in the next cycle starting in 2024. And here's the kicker, they predict another windfall in 27 that will double today's prize money. Now, what about the little guys? Well, they're in a tough spot. Smaller leagues might as well start collecting dust because they'll become the old champions everyone's tired of. The rest of the league? They'll feel like supporting characters to 1 or 2 teams strutting their stuff in Europe. That could lead to a drop in interest in domestic football. Let's be real though. Is it sensible for teams with billion-dollar budgets to compete against those with pocket change? It's like pitting a giant against a mouse. These matches start feeling about as exciting as watching paint dry, and nobody's going to pay big bucks for that. Football has become big business, and that's bound to bring some major changes down the line. Football is getting cozy with the entertainment industry, and it's starting to look like the Netflixation of the sport. Now, that approach might work just fine for some sports like American football, where the minor teams are like the farm system for the big league clubs. But this trend could seriously threaten the deep-rooted local traditions of European football. You see, football in Europe has always been the people's game. Fans pack stadiums, getting up close and personal with their favourite teams. It's all about that in-person connection, but hold on, because here's the twist. There's a whole bunch of fans out there who are more than willing to open their wallets to watch giants like Man United and Real Madrid battle it out every week. Whilst it might shake up the core of the sport, it's also a golden opportunity for some clubs and organisations to tap into new audiences and rake in some serious cash. Likewise, we've been hearing terms like salary cap, playoffs and draft thrown around, which are familiar sights in American sports. But try to transplant these concepts into the world of football. That is like fitting a square peg into a round hole. Here's the deal. American sports thrive commercially thanks to some robust rules and regulations, something we're a tad short on in Europe. Across the pond, big agencies can just swoop in, buy football clubs and turn them into playgrounds for superstar players. We've got the enthusiasm, but our legal playing field isn't quite the same. What we really need are some tougher regulations to strike a balance between capitalism and preventing the wild, unchecked growth that's currently running rampant. Right now, we've got multi-club ownership at the highest level, massive cash injections from institutional investors, an uneven playing field, and a Champions League that's starting to resemble a VIP club with a guest list. It's not quite the playbook we see in the US, and frankly, it's not sustainable in the long run. So it's not rocket science to see that a change is on the horizon. Eventually, those US investors who are dipping their toes into the football world will likely be demanding a different tune. The ball is rolling, and the game is evolving. I believe that in 5 years, the landscape will look completely different. The pace of change is remarkable, with multi-club ownership and investors entering the scene. In my opinion, the Americanization of football is the next evolution, and then who knows what comes next. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more soccer content. See you soon.